single one of us to get out the vote. So with that said, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce you to the Commonwealth of Virginia's next governor, Ed Gillespie.
Martha, thank you so much, and thank you, Albany. Thank you so much for welcoming us here, and it's so great to see so many friends, for women for Ed, and lots of other guys for Ed too, which I appreciate very, very much. I feel like the guys here were like on that Fox show, outnumbered, one lucky guy. And I do apologize, the #1 woman for Ed cannot be here today, and that's Kathy Gillespie, who's going to be an incredible First Lady for the Commonwealth of Virginia. But Kathy is in Lee County, and for those up here who don't know where Lee County is, it's as far as you can get in Virginia. It's our southwest tip, the Cumberland Gap, and she's down there for a parade and working Southwest Virginia today, and so our paths don't cross that much on the trail right now, but it's a great time when it does, and I'm looking forward to seeing her this weekend. But I want to thank all of you for being here today and for all you're doing to help us win this race and what we're going to do over the course of the next 12 days to join Governor Martinez and me. And I just want to share a few thoughts about where we are in this campaign with 12 days to go. Not that anyone's counting, 12 days to go. But I hope, and I had this conversation as we were chatting with a number of you, but I hope you're feeling what I'm feeling, which is a ton of momentum. You can feel it out there everywhere I go. And you know that I'm sure you saw that poll that came out yesterday that has us up 8, and that is a great place to be. Now, that doesn't mean we can rest on our laurels for the next 12 days. And I'm not sure we're up 8, but I'm pretty sure we're up right now, and it's where we want to be in the home stretch. And one of the reasons that we're there is because of all of the efforts of folks who are here with us at this lunch today, but also because of the policies that we have put forward. And people are appreciating the fact that I've got these 20 detailed specific policy plans to get Virginia growing again. They know we're not where we need to be and where we rightly belong. Right now, our economic growth rate is 0.6% in Virginia. 39th out of 50 states, Virginia. Our wage growth last year, 1.7%, made us 44th out of 50 states. And when it comes to economic growth and job creation and wage growth, we all know Virginia should be first in the country, and we can be with the right policy. We don't have those policies right now, and we're not going to have those policies unless I get elected and Jill Vogel gets elected and John Adams gets elected, and that's what we're going to do on November 7th. And let me just say a couple things. Number one, I know every 4 years a candidate like me stands at an event like this and says, this is the most important election in our lifetime. This is the most important election in our lifetime. Let's make no mistake about it. That's where we are. This is a critical juncture for the Commonwealth we love because we are stuck. And unless we do things differently, we are not going to get unstuck, and I will get us moving again. Secondly, I want to make a point too. We have an opportunity on November 7th to make history here in Virginia by electing the first woman lieutenant governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I am so proud to be running with Jill Vogel. She is a longtime friend of mine. We all know she's an effective and very influential and strong state senator. And we know that she's going to make a great lieutenant governor. I know John Adams is going to be a great attorney general. And by the way, you know why? Because as Attorney General, John Adams will enforce the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia, not make up his own, and we need that. And then the three of us are going to work to implement these policies, to create jobs and raise take-home pay, help people lift themselves out of poverty, improve our public schools. And let me just share something about that real quickly. I've got an ad that just went up today talking about education. And it is critically important, and I know our policies will improve our public schools. And if you believe, as I do, and I suspect everyone here right now does believe this, that the proper role of government is not to guarantee equality of outcomes for everyone, but to guarantee equality of opportunity for everyone, then you have to fight with every fiber in your being to make sure every child in Virginia has access to a good, safe, quality education. And I will fight every day for that. Every day. I will fight to make sure that our communities are safer. I just had a press conference with John Adams and leaders in our General Assembly to announce my commitment and pledge to put $1.5 million into the Northern Virginia Regional Gang Task Force to make sure that we are safer here in the Commonwealth of Virginia and Northern Virginia. My plans to get Virginia growing again include the first across-the-board cut in our individual income tax rates since they were set in 1972, 45 years ago. And we've got to bring our income taxes down. 10% across the board, responsibly implemented, protecting core government functions like education, transportation, public safety, and law enforcement. I know we can do that and protect our AAA bond rating, but that would result in the creation of more than 53,000 new, additional, good-paying private sector jobs all across the Commonwealth. That's a 25% increase. We need those jobs and we need those opportunities. And we know it will work. And one of the reasons we know it will work is because Republican governors across the country have implemented policies like that, and they have worked in their states. And one of those governors is here with us today. And I am so happy to be able to introduce my friend, someone who is a very strong leader for the people of New Mexico. But I think we all know more than just New Mexico. Susana Martinez is a model governor, and I will model my governorship after what she has done for the people of New Mexico, for the country. And in fact, when she took office, New Mexico was dealing with a structural deficit that Susana Martinez as governor turned into a surplus in New Mexico. And by the way, not by raising taxes, but by bringing down taxes on business to foster more job creation. Brought down the business tax rate, the corporate tax rate, from 7.6% to 5.9%. I hate to say it, but that's lower than our corporate tax rate in Virginia. And Susana Martinez brought that down, and you know what? New Mexico went from 38 in the country in export growth to number 1 in the country in export growth under Susana Martinez. She has reformed state government to protect the interests of the taxpayers while maintaining the commitment to core government services. She is someone who understands that the way that we foster job creation is through small business formation and expansion. Governor Martinez and I have something in common. We both grew up in a family-owned business. And we know what it's like to stand and work on your feet all day long. Know how we learned at an early age how hard it is to make a dollar and how easy it is for the government to take a dollar. And I always say in my family, you know, I grew up in a grocery store, the J&C Market. J&C were Jack and Connie, or as I knew them, Mom and Dad. And they worked on their feet all day long in that grocery store, and all of my brothers and sisters and I did as well. I'm one of 6 children, and in my family, when you turn 12 years old, you got a birthday cake and a present and a 4-hour shift at the J.C. Market. And I always joke, I'm one of 6 children, I think, because somewhere along the way my father realized that by law you don't have to pay your children minimum wage. But I learned very valuable work ethic there that served me well all my life, and an appreciation for family-owned small businesses, not only as the lifeblood of our economy, which they are, but as the central to the fabric of our culture and our societies as well. And Governor Martinez and I both understand that. The key to long-term diversifying of our economy, we both have a state, governor is the governor of one, I hope to be the governor of one, where we are heavily affected by federal spending and federal programs and federal policies. And the governor has done a great job of diversifying New Mexico's economy to be less reliant on federal spending and federal programs. That's what we need to do here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and I will follow her lead in that regard. So I am so honored to have her here with us today. I have sought her advice in the course of my campaign, and as our next governor, I will continue to seek her advice, because Susana Martinez knows how to be an effective governor and chief executive for her people. That's what I want to do for our fellow Virginians, and I am so thrilled to introduce to you now the governor of New Mexico, Governor Susana Martinez.
Good afternoon, Virginians. I am so happy to be here to speak with you today. I really do find that the Commonwealth of Virginia is at a crossroads. You are at a crossroads of doing more of the same under the current Lieutenant Governor. However, you can have an amazing change. I've been following Ed's campaign, and just the energy and the commitment and going to every corner of this state. It is amazing that he has really put his all into this campaign, and you will have the very same energy and commitment to good policies that are good for the people of Virginia. I've always, we've worked together, we've talked about all kinds of things during the past several years, and to say that he wants to cut personal income tax by 10%, personal income tax cut by 10% in a responsible way over a 3-year period, so that the services that are necessary are going to be in place. Public safety. If you don't have a safe state, people don't want to be here or live here or bring their business and raise their children. And so public safety is enormous, but also making sure that you're providing a good education for kids. In our state, we had ranked very low. We have raised in 6.5 years, we've actually raised our graduation rate by 8%. So we have a concentration on kids. And it doesn't matter to us. I mean, I came from a community. It was a low middle class income family in a neighborhood. And my mother always taught me, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. And it doesn't matter where you came from or what the situation was in your life. As long as you have the same opportunity as anybody else, then you can be whatever you want to be. And that's why today I'm governor of the state of New Mexico. Excuse me. I'm governor of the state of New Mexico, the first female Hispanic governor in the country. I'm going to steal somebody's glass of beer. My apologies. I got a tickle in my throat. The first female Hispanic governor in the country, but it's because of amazing people like you. All the strong believers and the strong supporters and those who will knock doors and make phone calls and make sure you're reaching out to people and making sure they're going to vote on November 7th. I mean, I've always been grateful for my volunteers. And you all are top volunteers for Ed's campaign. And I cannot be more grateful. Because you will get him across that finish line. And Ed will bring amazing things to New Mexico and to Virginia. I know that little tickle back there. But I'll tell you, his commitment to education is so important. But it's not to have and diversify or divide the type of child that's going to school. As my mother always said to me, the opportunity is yours, grab it and do your best. And parents should always know where their kids are going to school. What kind of school? How are their schools doing? And you shouldn't be stuck. Your children should never be stuck in a school that doesn't provide the best for those kids. And so we have really raised the bar in New Mexico, as I know Ed will do, because if you don't have a good workforce, then you cannot allow, you don't have room for companies to grow that are here already, and the ability for them to expand, because you won't have a good workforce. And not everybody's ready for college, or can't go to college because of family responsibilities, or want to learn a trade. In New Mexico, we have folks who can earn $75,000 if you could just get a CDL license, pass that test, and drive a large truck throughout the state for $75,000. You don't have to have a college degree. You get a license, and so there are many opportunities. I was a Democrat when I first registered as a voter, and the reason I was a Democrat is because my parents were. No other reason. My parents were Democrats, I was a Democrat, and finally I sat down and talked to some folks that were from the Republican leadership. My husband and I were invited. This is my husband, Chuck Franco. The first dude of New Mexico. And the leadership of the Republican Party invited us to have a meeting, and it was a luncheon. And I said, I know what they're up to. I know they want us to change parties. And so we're going to be very nice, take the free meal, and get out. And we'll just be very polite. But they talked to us about issues. They never mentioned the word Democrat or Republican. They never mentioned the word conservative or liberal. They asked us about issues and what we felt about our educational system. What changes can be made? How do we grow our economy? Yes, we're very reliant on the military. And when sequestration hits, it hits the bottom line for the budget. we have a lot of natural resources. And when that starts to go down in the price, of course, that hits our budget. And so we had to diversify our economy. So we talked about all these issues. And afterwards, we were there like 2 hours. It wasn't so offensive anymore. And so we sat there for 2 hours and talked and had an amazing conversation. I got in the car with my husband's on the driver's seat. I leaned over the console and I said, I'll be damned. We are Republicans. So we changed our registration in a state where Republicans are outnumbered 3 to 1. So Republicans are outnumbered 3 to 1. So what that meant was getting out into the communities and talking to people, Republicans and Democrats, and talking about the change. Otherwise, you're going to have this same person who believes in raising taxes to solve problems. Why? Because it's quick and easy. And all it does, it makes it more expensive for people of the Commonwealth of Virginia to live and support their families. They have presented to me in every session since I've been here, tax increases. I keep telling them, I'm not going to sign it. I won't sign it. They don't believe me yet, but I've rejected every single one of them. And instead, we've cut taxes 37 times. And so that diversification is coming in, allowing us to have a ton of exports from New Mexico. And so I believe that Ed is going to be an amazing governor. I truly do believe that. But we have to make sure that you're calling your cousin and your friend and your whomever it may be, that on November 7th, that they get out and vote. Because sometimes lives get a little busy. And, you know, I didn't go out on my lunch break on November 7th. Oh, I'll make it at 5 o'clock. Oh, the lines were too long. We have got to have our short little list of folks, everybody, and call them and call them and call them, and don't stop calling them until they've already said, yes, I voted. And I voted for Ed Gillespie. Because I think he'll be amazing. I have no doubt that he's going to be a great governor, a great leader, and bring extremely awesome change to the Commonwealth of Virginia. And he's my friend. I know his heart. I know that he means what he says, and he's going to remember all of his promises and know every day how he has to deliver on those promises. So thank you all for all that you do for Ed Gillespie, our new governor coming up. Governor to be Ed Gillespie.
Governor, thank you so much.